Thousands of kilometres from Britain in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean. The Falkland Islands are a peaceful, if remote, British outpost. But in 1982, this was a battleground. More than 900 people died in the Falklands War, and with the 30th anniversary of the conflict due in April, there are growing tensions between Britain and Argentina. A growing number of British firms have been exploring for oil in waters off the Falklands, and Prince William is due to go there on a tour of duty later this year. All that angered Argentina, but Falkland Islanders say they want to stay under British rule. They're facing an increasing economic blockade. Argentina recently banned ships flying the Falklands flag from docking in its ports. 3 decades may have passed since the end of the Falklands War, but the issue of ownership of these islands still divides Britain and Argentina.
The ongoing dispute between Argentina and Britain over the sovereignty of the Malvinas Islands entered a new phase the same week as the South American country marked its National Flag Day. Joined by lawmakers from both the ruling and opposition parties, governors and diplomats, Argentine Foreign Minister Héctor Timerman arrived in New York, where he attended the United Nations Special Committee on Decolonization. He blasted Britain's systematic refusal to sit at the negotiating table, saying the end of this dispute remains seized in London.
Argentina has showed its predisposition to dialogue and to reach negotiations with the UK. Our demand is that the British government resume dialogue to discuss the Malvinas Islands dispute.
Timerman also accused the UK of deploying its military power in the South Atlantic, declared a nuclear weapon-free zone, to illegitimately loot Argentinians' strategic natural resources. Timerman's UN address was echoed in the Argentine capital, Buenos Aires, where Malvinas War veterans held a parade, recalling the still-fresh memories of the end of the 1982 war. They paid tribute to some 650 troops that lost their lives fighting for the sovereignty of the British seized territories.
Everything that the government can do is positive. We continue fighting here. It's a difficult challenge, but we must insist that the UN, powerful countries such as China, support our cause. We need the world to hear our message. Malvinas means fighting for our homeland.
Malvinas Islands belong to Argentina, the war veteran said, praising the government's position at the UN. Still, they consider further efforts are needed to step up the pressure on London.
We must become aware that we need to recover the sovereignty of the islands through peaceful channels, but affecting also British pockets. They must feel pressure so that they can no longer sail through the South Atlantic waters with impunity. They must pay for the cost of their colonial occupation.
In its anti-imperialist stance, Argentina has been rallying significant support from countries such as Russia and China, and regional blocs such as the G77, the Community of Latin American and the Caribbean States CELAC, the Southern Common Market, Mercosur, the Union of South American Nations, UNASUR, and the Organization of American States.
The British Prime Minister David Cameron defended Britain's sovereignty of the Falklands.
We support the Falkland Islanders' right to self-determination, and what the Argentinians have been saying recently, I would argue, is actually far more like colonialism.
Well, it's totally offensive coming from Great Britain. History has clearly displayed their attitude to the world. We aspire to the notion that they will finally respect the UN resolution whereby Great Britain will sit and discuss Argentine sovereignty. The islands are Argentinian.